opening, I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. I am opening, I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. I am opening, I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. So let us be open. Let us be open to the new ideas that are coming forth from science, which only serve to legitimize our beliefs, to know that that ancient wisdom is being proved by modern science, so that we are told that the universe creates itself in every moment, that it is anew in every moment, that the old ends and the new begins. So let us know that we are opening now, that the next instant of creation is one of magnificence, of joy, of truth, of life, of all the things that we affirm in our celebration here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Princeton. So I invite you to join me in singing about being open. I am opening, I am opening, my heart is ready to receive. I am opening, I am opening, my heart is ready to receive. One more, I am opening, I am opening, my heart is ready to receive.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. So now is our time that we welcome you, and actually each one of ourselves, we welcome ourselves. So what do you need to let go of? Right? What do you need to leave outside the door? What do you need to welcome yourself to by being here as part of the Center for Spiritual Living Princeton? We are a loving, healing, and inclusive community which teaches and practices the principles of the science of mind for the well-being and spiritual growth of ourselves and the world. And we are that. We've been that for a long time, and we'll be continuing to be that. And we welcome you if you are watching online. And if you're watching in the future, watching the recording, also welcome yourself to be part of this spiritual family. And so today we have the wonderful opportunity to listen to Reverend Karen Kushner, who's here to speak for us today. Next week, we're not quite sure. We think we have a surprise for you, and we'll announce it when we know it for sure. And the week after that, Reverend Karen will be back. We are a family that believes that every day we welcome ourselves to the presence of Spirit in our lives. And each one of us does it in a different way. And we learn together how to find that place inside of ourselves that shows us what our way is. And so we welcome you again. Thanks so much for being part of our family at this time. And we hope that you consider yourself as part of our family all the time. And that just means that spiritual values are part of your life, right? The world's full of a lot of chaos, is the word that I experience, right? But I see that as Spirit calling to us, the truth that lives within us calling to us. And so we welcome you to that truth.
Bravo.
I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I am stronger every moment, every day. My mind is willing and my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts, let spirit be my guide. I vow to live a life that's real and true and free, as I continue walking in this misery. There may be walls, there may be roadblocks in my way, but I can choose to take a higher path each day. Now I know that what I thought was safe and sound was only habit and regret that held me down. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am stronger every moment, every day.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Jeffrey Starbuck, and I'm a practitioner here, licensed practitioner, and any kind of practitioner there is. I'm that. And every moment is elegant, and every moment is powerful and full of power. And I am going to be leading you in I'll call it a guided meditation right now, and then I will be continuing into a very powerful spiritual mind treatment. So wherever you're sitting, and don't listen to this if you're driving, wherever you're sitting, realize that gravity is holding you in place. And let yourself surrender to gravity. And notice that you're breathing, which you've been doing since you were born into this life, which is a good thing. And breathe in deeply through your nostrils, your two nostrils. If you have more than two, that's okay too. Breathe in deeply through your nostrils and breathe out either through your nostrils or your mouth. Breathe in again deeply. Hold the breath for a sec. And now exhale. And now once again, breathe in deeply, this breath of life. And hold it. Breathe in a little bit more at the top. Sip in a little bit more. And now breathe out, release it. And now continue breathing and let the breathing go by itself, which it's going to do. It knows how to breathe. This body, this intelligence knows how to breathe. This is a body of intelligence in a universe of intelligence. So feel yourself sitting where you are and listen to these words that are being spoken. There is an awesome creative power in this world, in this universe, which is this universe, and I can use it. I am supposed to use it. You and I and all of us are supposed to use this power. And this is true even if Ernest Holmes hadn't said so. It is true even before he said it. This power is truly ever present. The only place where it is now, is present. And it is good. And it is always right now. And when we speak this word aright, when we use this power of our mind, we join forces, join company with all those who have done so before. We become one with all the voices of truth that have been present and have spoken out, and also all the voices of truth that have yet to come. We are broadcasting systems, stations, whether we know it or not. Our thoughts and feelings make an imprint on our environment. And we're also receiving. It behooves us to be deliberate about the programs and signals we are receiving. This power that we have been given is awesome. It is stupendous. And we are being asked to get over our smallness, our little habits, our characteristic ways of thinking small. And we're not doing that now, even if we experience resistance. Life is a river that is flowing, and it never gets tired, worn out, or exhausted. It never depletes itself. It is always renewing, in the process of being renewing, and maybe renewed. I don't know what that means. And all of us are part and parcel of this divine mood, this divine program. So right now, sitting where you are, I speak this word of truth and of power and of presence. For there is only one power. There is only one presence. And it is spread out over the face of the earth. It is in everything and it is everywhere. And there is no place where it is not. There is nothing that is outside of it. And as far as we are concerned, for our purposes, it is good. And it desires to express and experience more of itself. And it's doing that through us. And we are now, everyone here, everyone who is present, is part of this, is an aspect of this, is a completely embodied and deputized part, aspect, voice of this power. And any belief in limitation, in smallness, in being imperfect or being not enough is now, by the power of this word, erased and dissolved. Every single particle is fully imbued with this sparkling, amazing essence, this power, this grace, this joy, this delight. And this is health. This manifests as physical health in the body. It manifests as love and connectedness in relationships. It manifests as the right work, the right occupation, the right delivery of one's gifts. And everyone is catching this fever, this fever in a good way. Everyone is experiencing this power, this enthusiasm, this exuberance. This is an exuberant power, a triumphant, joyful, loving, wise expression that is present here, and every single one person listening knows this, knows it now. And even regardless of any kind of thoughts to the contrary, they are now living this. They are being impelled, compelled, and propelled to live this truth and to express it. And that is good. That is very good indeed. And I now express gratitude for speaking, for knowing this truth, for having come into contact with this. And everyone now join me in saying, and so it is.
So it is. So it is.
And that is the deal.
I've been walking down the streets, searching through the night, looking for what's real, searching for what's right. All those outside voices calling, selling all their dreams. I know deep down inside there's a fiery voice that screams. Oh, I hear it in the wind, I feel it in my bones. A whisper in my heart says, I'm already home. Oh, the truth don't ever waver, the truth don't ever die. It's a love so deep it can never die. Through the darkest valley, through the pouring rain, the light of the Spirit's gonna call my name. Ancient teachings say the power's in me, not in the struggle, not what I see. The mind is a doorway, love is the key. Everything I'm chasing is really free. Oh, the truth don't ever waver, the truth don't ever die. Love so deep, never die. Through the darkest valley, through the pouring rain, the light of the Spirit gonna call my name. Oh, I hear it in the wind, I feel it in my bones. A whisper in my heart says, I'm already home. Oh, the truth don't ever waver, the truth don't ever lie. Love so deep can never die. Through the darkest valley, through the pouring rain, the light of the Spirit's gonna call my name. Through the darkest valley, through the pouring rain, the light of the Spirit's gonna call my name. Through the darkest valley, through the pouring rain, the light of the Spirit's gonna call my name.
Bravo.
And now, bring it to us, straight from wherever she was, doing whatever she's doing, that makes her look fantastic this morning, and gonna give us the words of ultimate truth.
Ultimate truth.
Ultimate truth. That's what we're selling here.
Ultimate truth. That's what I'm selling here. So thank you all for having me here again. And I'm not going to share where I was or what I was doing. But I did have a dream this morning. I was going into the subway through one of the turnstiles there. And as I was going through the turnstile, instead of putting a token in, I was telling the machine that that gentleman over there who's going through that way was paying for me. And it said, well, you have to get behind him. I can't do it. You have to follow him. So, you know, subways, if you know subways, and I imagine everyone here in their present audience knows, you know, to excuse me, I need to be behind that guy right there. No, he's not here for you to be for me. You know, a mess ensued. And I woke up from that dream and I thought, oh, that's what my talk is about. I can't remember the title, but my question that prompted it is, I've been asking myself, am I following God? Am I following God while it's preparing my way, making it easy? It paid for my subway ride. I just had to get behind God. And no, I'm going my way, which is more difficult, and a big mess ensued for me to, you know, eventually I did get behind God, but the dream ended and, you know, you move on. Now, the reason why I'm sharing this is, happily for me and a bit weird, I discovered I have an addiction. And I discovered that I was addicted to technology. Internet and technology, Addiction Anonymous. It's an ITAA, it's a thing. And I was a gamer, and I was part of an international team in a particular game, and I enjoyed playing it, and I was getting guidance enough already. You know, let it go. This is starting to take up a whole lot of your time, and it could be better spent. And then my reasoning mind said, doing what? These are hours of the day that I'm wanting to relax, and I wouldn't be doing anything otherwise. And so what's the harm? There's no harm to it. There's no down thing to it, whatever. And then a friend of mine who also is an internet technology addict, I didn't know that, but I saw him and I said, wow, you're looking really good compared to how you looked years ago. I didn't actually say all that, but he really looked awful a few years ago, and he was really looking good. And when you see that, right, you ask, what happened? What'd you do? You know, facelift, what? You know, tell me. I want to do it too, right? So he said, well, I discovered this internet and technology addiction group, 12-step program, and I joined it. And then he said, I didn't realize that the time I was spending on the internet was actually activating dopamine in my brain, which actually has, if it's overstimulated and, you know, shooting too much, it actually starts affecting your sleep, your attention span, your anxiety level, and he listed all these things, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's me. And so that night, boom, I joined a online meeting. This is what I think. It's internet and technology addict, and we're using technology to meet, but okay, there it is. And I found people who I felt I identify with, people like me. We're all talking the same story. And I've always, once I started becoming friends with people who are in some sort of 12-step program, I've always wanted to be a part of the 12-step program, but I couldn't find an addiction that would work for me. So it was nice to, and I don't mean to put down the suffering of people, because I know how much we do all suffer from this experience, whatever it might look like. To work a 12-step program is a serious, deep, no messing around, spiritual practice. And I am loving it completely. I came across a letter written to Bill W., who started Alcoholics Anonymous, from Carl Jung. Yeah. And he wrote, I had no news from Roland H. anymore, and often wondered what has been his fate. He said that he could not tell Roland everything, because in those days, I had to be exceedingly careful of what I said, I had found out that I was misunderstood in every possible way. But Jung thought his craving for alcohol was the equivalent, on a low level, of the spiritual thirst of our being for wholeness, expressed in medieval language, the union with God. And he said, the only right and legitimate way to such an experience of that desire for the union with God is that it happens to you in reality. And it can only happen to you when you walk on a path which leads you to higher understanding. You might be led to that goal by an act of grace, or through a personal and honest contact with friends, or through a higher education of the mind beyond the confines of mere rationalism. And I am strongly convinced that the evil principle prevailing in the world leads us into that unrecognized spiritual need. And if it is not the evil in the world, not counteracted either by a real religious insight or the protective wall of human community, we can be led astray. An ordinary person not protected by an action from above and isolated in society cannot resist the power of evil. But the use of such words arouse so many mistakes that one can only keep aloof from them as much as possible. These are the reasons why I couldn't fully explain to Roland H. But, you see, alcohol in Latin is spiritus. You're all nodding. And you use the same word for the highest religious experience as well as for the most depraving poison. The helpful formula, therefore, is spiritus contra spiritum. Spirit against spirit. So that's Carl Jung. The thing is, in my personal experience of looking at not gaming, at first it was very difficult for me. I mean, it's easy for me to just stop it. But the urge in those times when I would be playing would come up. And it's a habit. And I would be thinking, oh, I wanna, but I'm not gonna. Well, what do I do instead? And so what my buddies and I are discovering that what we want instead has been deadened in us. And so what I invite you here to do is to think about what is it that you do instead of living your full life out completely. And what kind of thinking do you have behind that? Because for me, I discovered that, this particular game, and it was a game I loved in childhood. So there may be stuff going on there. I'm not exploring that yet. But it was a fun game for me. And then when I finally got into a league with all these other people, I would be one of the top players, and they really needed me, and it was fun, and we would be chatting in the chat, and I felt like I could go anywhere in the world and meet one of these players, and that's going to happen. But I mean, because who knows who these people are? Who knows these people? We're all united in playing a game. But it gave me the belief that I was fully living my life because I was occupying my time with something that was interesting to me. And it was certainly very thrilling at the beginning when I was learning it and trying it and and getting all involved with these people. But I had to admit, over time, I started having the thought, it's boring. Why don't I let this go? Oh, they need me. I'm the top player in the league, and we can beat other people when I really play full out. But to play full out would require maybe 2-3 hours a day. We have people in the group who identify binge watching as their bottom behavior. in this particular group, we talk about our bottom behaviors. Behaviors that when we indulge in them, we lose all track of time and we lose all sense of what's important to us. And then we also identify our upper behaviors. Maybe that's the word, I could be wrong. That are fully living our lives. And so what we do as a group is we try to refrain from our bottom behaviors and live in our upper behaviors, but we also have all these middle behaviors, which are okay, but be careful. Ding, 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 ding. So as I've been with this group, obviously I got rid of the game and I had to be on a meeting with the group to actually uninstall it from my phone. I was like, oh, I was like, no, I have to tell my league I'm leaving forever. So I knew once I got onto the game, the bells and the whistles would go off, and it's like, well, you bonus points over here, and a new game has started over here, and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, I need to be in a meeting to let it go. So everybody was meditating or something in the meeting or writing or something, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to let it go, I'm going to let it go. So I let it go. I told them all, look, guys, I'm leaving forever. Goodbye. Love you all. And I'm going to delete myself from the group. Then I couldn't delete myself from the group. And I went back into the group, like, okay, I can't delete myself from the group, so delete me. Goodbye forever. And then I got off, and then I had to uninstall it. And I knew as I uninstalled it that I had a screenshot of my name and password, and I could always get back on it again if I wanted to. So, you know, the bit in 12 Steps about surrendering everything to God, I'm a little whatever. And I find that with this particular group, and I think maybe all 12-step programs, it's okay. What you want to do is be honest and accept yourself where you're at, and to stop playing the game of being perfect. And then, as I let go of the game, I discovered, oh, I've got another bottom line behavior that was interfering with my sleep. And it's, because I started having problems sleeping, I started watching boring old reruns on television to put me to sleep. And it worked for a while. But I kept using that thinking it was helping me to sleep. So I got this thought, well, I don't want to give up watching television, but I'll try it for a week. And I tried it for a week, and I began sleeping. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm not using this sleep aid to sleep, which did help, but it was just becoming a sleep suppressant over time. So it had become a bottom line behavior. What I thought would help me did help me for a little while, and then it stopped helping me. And I think that's kind of the experience of people with addictive behavior. Like initially it helped, and then it stopped helping. And the other thing that I had as an experience pre my little 12-step group is a continuous underlying experience of anxiety in me. Just always there. Freaking me out now, but without the TV interference in my night and the game interference in my day, I discovered the anxiety is gone. And I'm like, okay, I was playing the game in order to reduce my anxiety and watching television to reduce my anxiety, but it became actually the stimulator of a different kind of anxiety that was just always present. And now they're gone. So the thing about a 12-step program, key to this whole thing, is recognizing the existence of a higher power. First of all, you have to recognize you can't handle what you're doing. You are being controlled by something in you. And what Jung is saying is this, what we're being controlled by is this urge within us to express its life as us in a greater experience of livingness. And the fear of it or the courage to live your full life completely, because each one of us is unique. So if you were living your full life, the whole rest of the world would go, what the hell? Because they've never seen a full life being lived in the particular way that you would, or whatever our reasons are, our rationalizations and our reasonings, or our fears, or who knows what. But it's suppressing that unique nature that each of us has to give. So when I sit with this empty time, devoid of my bottom line behaviors, and as I've been practicing this now for a month, I'm noticing, oh, there's another bottom line behavior. I'm not ready to give that one up yet, or this one here, or that one, whatever. It's okay. What do I do instead? And for me, now you all know, and I'm sure you all think, she's been living a full life, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm there. I mean, I thought I was living a full life, but I didn't realize how much of this life I'm living is not being lived fully. And so the other thing that I'm experiencing is the power of grace, unmerited favor. That's what the 12-step program relies upon. Just because you say, I can't handle what I'm doing anymore, higher power, I give it to you, and I will follow. That alone takes away your problem. And when I experienced it, when I just made that little decision, all right, I'm just going to give up TV at nights in my bedroom for a week. That's my commitment. That's all I've got. I confessed it on my cell phone to my fellow buddies there. All urge to watch television completely evaporated in me.
Wow.
I don't even want to watch television anymore.
You go there.
I know, but it's not me. I didn't do that because I said to them, 1 week only, that's all I'm giving you. And then that heavenly presence took away that need to watch it or even that interest to watch it. And then I heard something in the program that I never heard before. I'm sure it was always said that we call upon the divine to take away our weaknesses. They have that term, defects of character. But your weaknesses. And see, then I realized, oh my gosh, even though I turned so much of my life over to God, and I'm treating, even right now, this talk right here, this is God. I always don't let Karen talk, because who knows what she's thinking. You speak your truth, what needs to be said for each one who is listening to receive what you know they need to receive. Thank you for using me in that way. That's what I do. So I just turn things over, and I've learned to do it because it makes everything so much easier. I'm so much calmer. I enjoy myself so much more. La, 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 la. It never crossed my mind to actually call upon the divine to take away a part of my personality that I thought I needed to fix. I know I hear people, prayer partners that I've had, ask for, I need to have more discipline to stop eating or to not eat this or whatever. I need more willpower. I need more discipline. I need more strength. And in this 12-step experience, I'm learning I never needed that. And none of us need that. You don't need to be a better person. You don't need to do more spiritual work. You don't need to try harder or work harder or figure it all out. You don't need to become a better person. You don't need to get a higher consciousness. You can just say, I give up. I give up, help. That's it. That's it. I give up in this area. I give up over TV watching. I give up over my game. I give up over scrolling for dollars or whatever it is that I do. I just give up. I am a divinely created being, and the potential for expressing the perfection of the divine always exists within me, But I don't have to be perfect. I can be human with failings and weaknesses and urges and addictions, and I could have a history of a mess all around me, and the divine loving presence still loves us and cares about us and wants to help us. But we need to get out of the way. What does getting out of the way mean? It means stop thinking you're going to handle it. I'm going to fix it. I'll take care of it. Okay, my early childhood prayers would be negotiations, I guess. All right, God, I promise that I will not be snippy with my mother if you pass me on this exam, because I didn't study.
Okay.
But I promise I will give up my sinning. And in my particular upbringing, that whole concept of sinning was presented to me, and maybe I just misheard it wrong, but I'm not the only one apparently. You know, addicts among us unite, right? Who believed that sinning was somehow our fault. And we couldn't ask God to take away the urge to sin. Like that's our job. But no, apparently not. And as Jung is saying, you can only understand this by having an experience. And I'm telling you, I am shocked that I'm not interested in television. In fact, my cable company sent me a new box, which, you know what that's like. Oh, I got to re-put in new things and set everything up. And the whole box has been sitting there unopened until they shut my TV off, and then I have to. But I'm actually thinking, okay, I'm actually going to send it back. I'm not going to have TV because I'm not using it for anything. And that money could be used for something else. So whatever your bottom lines might be for you, and if you think you might have a problem, go on the internet and Google it. There's probably a 12-step program for your problem. I have been, listening to a lot of them. But because I have this urge to please people. Well, they've got a group for that. And I find that I've got an urge to, I can't let things go. Well, they've got a group for that. And, anyway, they've got groups as well as specific substances. They've got a group for that. And it's very, you have that urge to eat, whatever. They've got a group for that. I mean, and they're making more and more groups all along. But that's because there's like this growing awakening in humanity of, right, the presence of the divine. Why? Because that urge is inbuilt to us. The divine wants to be known, and it wants to live its life more fully, more completely, and in a unique way in each and every one of us. And so no matter how full your life is, more life can be lived by you. But it's an exchange of how you're focusing your attention and how you're spending your time. And so when you all know that I've been saying and treating, I move from good to greater good in ways and means of goodness. Well, the game was good. Certainly was a pleasure during COVID and all that nonsense. What are you going to do, right? I mean, there were better things to do, but for me, that was good. But in moving to my greater good, I have to let go of the lesser good. So no matter where you are right now, and I'm sure none of you are addicted to anything, that's on me. You guys are all fully evolved, fully individualized beings, as Carl Jung would say, right? But even that, even you, you're individualized, fully formed, fully actuated beings, actualized, right? Out of all your behaviors, out of all the ways you spend your time, and all the ways that you think, there will always be the greater thoughts, which make thoughts that were good from the past become the lesser thoughts. We're always exchanging, always up-leveling the good of today will someday be the bottom line of all the good in your life. We have that happen with relationships. Have you noticed? You have friends from childhood. I have a friend from childhood who she was my best friend in 3rd grade, and we've connected on Facebook, and I'm noticing her posts. I'm like, wow, it's good that we don't live anywhere near each other, because we have completely different focuses in our life and interests and beliefs. But I still feel that love for her. So we let go of the lesser in order to have the space to allow the greater move in. And for me, using up all this time and energy on lesser behaviors, when I let them go, well, what is the greater that's going to move in? For me, I got nothing. It's now just empty space. And I'm not alone, because my tribe on the internet and technology addicts, whatever, we all our big complaint is, I don't know, I just sat there for 3 hours, and I had or I go to a meeting because what am I going to do with myself? I've got nothing better. But eventually, the better does start creeping in little ways. And what I've noticed for myself, and this is only a month, what I'm noticing is I'm more booked with activities than I have been in a long time. And these activities, instead of exhausting me, and I've always been an introvert, so when I have a lot of activities where I'm with other people, I feel a need to, okay, now I need time alone to refresh and regenerate myself, and so let's just play a little game. What's Facebook doing? Oh, look what she said. Okay. Now, instead of that, I'm not tired. I'm not exhausted. How did that happen? My belief is, no, you got the people, you too much, you need downtime, you're an introvert, you need a downtime. Well, apparently I don't. Well, then what do I do? What are you gonna do? You're just gonna keep going out in the world, having a ball with more and more people? Why not?
Come out to lunch with us.
Come out to lunch. See, I got another lunch date. I'm already booked, so sorry. But anyway, because I'm so popular, right? But, I'm popular to myself. I'm living my higher self in more aspects of my life. So what we want to get clear about is this. Let me just check. Yes, because we got to get out of here at a certain time, right?
Yes.
Yes. So
We're fine.
we're fine. Good. Got to watch me now. Okay. I invite each one of you to just take a moment right now and just connect to your higher self within. We had beautiful lyrics and a treatment encouraging us to let go and to follow. So just listen right now. Out of all the activities you have in your life, all your relationships, all the things that you're interested in, all the ways you spend your time, is what's at the bottom? Out of all this good that you have, what's the least relevant to you right now? Out of all that you have, which interests you the least? Which, if you spent your time with, you find yourself tired rather than inspired? And so whatever that is for you, just notice what it is. It's okay, whatever it is. And just take a moment to realize if what you have might be described as a fault or defect or weakness, or maybe it's something you don't like about yourself. Those are the best ones to be at the bottom. Just realize this loving Creator loves you just the way you are, even with these behaviors. If you're like me, even with these addictions, you are completely and totally loved, accepted. And that loving presence wants to help you. And so just notice whether there's any particular behavior that you are willing to let go of. And it's okay if you're not, but just notice. Is there any behavior that you think it would be best for you to let go? And are you willing to let it go or not? And now, here's the magic. If you're willing to let it go, be aware of that. You're willing to let it go. And if you're not willing to let it go, are you willing to be willing to let it go? Maybe. For a week. For a day. And keep negotiating if you're there until you can say yes. I'm willing to be willing to let it go for an hour. Whatever you got, it's enough. And now take a deep breath in and realize that that's all you have to do, and that that loving presence is now going to help you. And just let it help you. And so this word is being spoken for each one. I recognize the presence and the power of divine love here with each one. It is the creator of each one, and it wants each one to be happier, healthier, freer, more enjoying of life, prosperous, wealthier, on every level of experience, having a happier life with more wonderful relationships. It wants each one to feel even more grateful to be being alive and more enjoying expressing their uniqueness in some wonderful new way. This loving creator wants this for each one, and it knows how to work through each one to help each one in taking that very next step forward that is part of the path in leading each one into a happier, freer, healthier, wealthier experience of life. A more loving life. A life that each one loves completely, because each one loves this creation that God has made, which is one's own self. Each one is loving one's own self more completely than ever before. And loving this presence that is helping them more than ever before. And so wherever the door has been opened, even if it's just a peek through the keyhole, wherever the opening has been given in each one's heart, that loving presence rushes in with all of its power, all of its know-how, all of its intelligence, all of its love, and is bringing to each one a unique way to move forward in this gift of living one's life completely. I am so grateful that God is taking care of this. And because it is the divine presence that has created each one and brought each one to this point, I know that that divine presence is taking each one forward all the rest of the way. It is done. Amen? And so it is. So it is. And so it is.
Lean into love, let spirit flow. Infinite presence is all that we know. Mind creates soul, think it true. Love is here in all that we do. One with light, one with grace. God in action, time and space. No more fear, no more lack. Love moves forward, but never back. Lean to love, let spirit guide. Truth within, no need to hide. Power, peace, joy divine, infinite love forever mine.
Thank you, Reverend Karen, for that thoughtful message. I'm going to let Jeff come up and do the offering for us. Yes, this is a basket which can collect things. It's designed to collect offerings. This is also a portal. Use it. Hold it for a second when it comes to you. Use it, even if you don't put anything in, that's fine. Don't feel guilty, unless you want to. You're not ready to give it out yet.
I demand the right to feel guilty.
You shall have it. Just hold this for a moment as a symbol, as a portal, as a representation of something that I sometimes think of it as a magic mirror or a pool of glory that that thing in movies come out. But whatever, do it. But use this in some way that is beneficial to you for a moment to recognize what it is you want and the fact that there's a way for it to come to you. That's it. And yeah, have a good time.
Grateful, 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 yes, grateful, 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 yes, grateful, 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 yes, grateful, grateful for the message, grateful for the message, grateful, yes, grateful, grateful for the message, grateful for the message, grateful, yes, grateful, 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 yes, grateful, 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 yes,
Would it be possible to get you up here again to
Sure.
switch my treatment?
Well, all right then. So, I mean, you're all healed.
Naturally.
Now, you healed beings, for what would you like me to do a treatment?
Money.
Money.
Love.
Love.
Guidance,
And guidance.
clarity.
Clarity, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Peace. Peace. All right. Well, we'll see what comes out. So this word is now being spoken for each one. One divine loving presence creating each one hears that desire for greater good spoken by each one, whether out loud or in the heart. And so that loving presence, it is that Father, Mother, God's pleasure to give each one the kingdom. So it's clarity, it's peace, it's love is given.
Yes.
Each one is receiving its guidance, and it's going ahead, paying the token, preparing the way for each one. And in creating each one, it has agreed to support each one in every way necessary, in every way that is required to be a divine being living in a human form. So even all of the support as money is provided, all by God. Each one is now recognizing the 100% complete dependency upon that which is creating each one now, and turns to that source of all for all that he or she requires, and all that is required is delivered. I am grateful that this is so. I release this word to the law. Thank you, law. Good job. And it's done, and so it is.
So it is.
That's the way it is.
Hallelujah.